beautiful.
This is just a sample of the colours that are available.
Anyway, we got it back, of course, and it was absolutely terrible, and that was completely it was held together with bits of rope and bits of wire. So Jimmy Hibbard put it all back together for me. This great machine has just arrived, just turned up here at Goodwood, all the way from California. Certainly had no idea it was coming. I pulled it out of the box and I couldn't work out where it had come from, who it was from. And then I got a bit of a clue on the tank here. Harley Davidson, AAR, that was the clue, All American Racers. And I suddenly realized that here I had a gurney bike. This is a lovely, lovely BMW R5 that my grandfather, Freddie, and he was the one who started the motor circuit and did all the other car-related things here at Goodwood. Great pilot, driver, engineer. He bought this bike from Jock West, the great TT rider who became, I think, the first BMW dealer in the UK. He bought this from Jock in July 1936. He then sold it, I think, just after the war. It's in lots of pictures. I've got some great pictures of him with the bike in his albums, and it disappeared.
It never seems, always delights me how easy it is to start, and it has a trembler coil to start it. It has no starter motor, so you swing the handle and you can get it to the right position and the cylinder is the right position. You press the top of this button here, and that's a trembler coil. It sends a shower of sparks to the cylinder that's ready to go.
We made 20 coupe and 20 roadster. We started to speak about this car in spring 2015. We had some sketch and some proposal from our design. With this, we start to have the pre-selling in Pebble Beach in 2015, and we start to deliver the car at the beginning of 2017. It's also a way to present new technology, and for example, here in the Centenario we launch a new HMI, new infotainment system, and as well also we had an extended use of aerodynamic. That is also something that in the next super sport car will be one of the key factors in order to reach the performance.
This is the aerial Nomad, an off-road insanity machine. Some people describe this as basically being like an atom that goes off-road, but that wouldn't be doing it justice. There's basically no parts carried over from the Atom into the Nomad. It doesn't even carry the same engine. This is powered by the 2.4 litre 4-cylinder engine from a US-only Honda Civic Type S. That means it's got 235 horsepower and 221 pound-foot of torque, routed just through the rear wheels. On dry land, can do 0 to 60 in nearly 4 seconds.
The Rover SD1 was probably the most brutal looking car, let's face it, isn't the prettiest of cars. Looks can be deceiving because you look at it and it looks this big beast. It's a pretty heavy car, but actually it's very compliant, it's very friendly on circuit.
Crank the wheel to lock, rev it up, dump the clutch, and that will disrupt the rear end and get the tires spinning. And with the wheels turned in, it's going to make the car want to pivot over the front end and rotate into the corner. And you just let go of the steering wheel and the car will self-steer itself into the donut. And after that, it's all about the throttle control and modulation to keep the car sideways. If it starts to come straight, you give it more throttle to step back out. If it starts to get too wide, you lift a little bit and it comes back in. So you just find this balance of the car when it's sideways and you just push it around this corner. And so you always want to start with donuts, and then you throw in some transitions, and that's how you make your way up to be able to drift a corner.
So I've never driven a Formula One car before, and what better way to do it than in a Ferrari? Out onto Donington. Not really driven a single seater before either. Could have stayed out there all day if I'm honest, but really nice balance to drive, very friendly to drive. Very warm down here, and it feels like a lot of space, so you end up kind of hanging on to it a little bit because you move around a lot. But really, really friendly to drive. Very cool experience.
These three that are leading this demo, Bruce. This is a fantastic demonstration of how the 911 GT1 developed in 3 years. So the car just, the two cars actually going through the screen at the moment, the 96 cars, which were the ones that really ended the McLaren F1 GTR's dominance of GT racing. The 97, of course, Mercedes ride, there was a Mercedes, hopefully we'll see. And that's the second car, the black PlayStation car, that wasn't so successful. And then the 98 car, which I think is pretty much effectively almost like a Group C car.
First thing that we do when we come into this room is we start with looking at the exterior of the car. And the beauty of what we have in here are these speed forms that we have on the wall. This is just a sample of the colours that are available. We actually have over 44,000 shades, and if you don't find one of those that takes your fancy, we can in fact make a new colour specifically to you.
We are in the atelier. The atelier is the only place in the world where Bugatti is producing his Bugattis. And now what we will see is how we assemble the car and how specific each process is to reach the summum of the quality and also the request of perfection which we try to follow.
It's Justin Law in the Jaguar XJR 12D. This is going to be spectacular. 2 cars to go.
And they were within 1/100th of a second of each other, both in the 46s. Justin Law a 46.69, Jeremy Smith a 46.68. Justin Law, vastly experienced. He's always in the running in the shootout here at the Festival of Speed in the big Bud Light Group C car.
Half a second up as he turns into the left-hander of Malcolm. Now climbing the hill in this wonderful Jaguar. Oh, flying past the bales. Do you see how close he got to the bales on the right-hand side? 1.3 seconds up now. This is going to be the benchmark. This is going to be what they are going to have to beat. Justin Law up across the line, goes quickest at 46.13. That's rapid.
They were rugged. They were built not just for the Italian cities, but also to transport the masses around the Tuscany countryside or even in the Alpine roads for that matter. And the rear engine made them particularly good in snowy conditions. Combine that with a narrow rear tyre, and if you've ever tried to move a Porsche Carrera on snow, you'll understand what I mean. It just stands, spins and grins at you. Whereas this little car would make its way up any Alpine pass, and they did on a regular basis.
1-3.
This great machine has just arrived, just turned up here at Goodwood, all the way from California. Certainly had no idea it was coming. This is a lovely, lovely BMW R5.
This celebration and testimony, I think, to Italian engineering.
I am browner
You're a
than anything in the world.
You're a disgusting man.